Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. We have a lot of things here today. I've got the jelly sizzle. I have a little something I'm wearing. The Benartex, links to the Benartex videos about the new fabric lines. Let's see what else. A crumb blocks, a May calendar, and at the very end is a surprise. So you're going to have to stay till the end. So first, let's do this. I know. Somebody wrote me and said, I know you're not a fashion channel, but where did you get your top? I love that. So somebody in our group, our community, one of our friends posted that she found these darling little jackets or little, at Target. And so you can get them online. One of our ambassador group found it. Kathy found it in blue online. And so I went to the store though, because I wanted to try it on, see what it was like. And this is the large, size large. So what do you think? I know, here, I'll show the back. So I know that I am really not going to be making any quilted clothing right now. And this is super fun. It is printed. So it is printed and there's some stitching lines through it. It's lightweight and 35 bucks. I'm like, that's a no-brainer. I'm a quilter, I need this. So there we go. I think it's darling. Okay, let's talk about the jelly sizzle. I'm at the point where, yes, I should have had the borders on, but I'm still ruminating about them. So let's take a look in my bin at what I have and just sort of what my thought process is, because I've got all of these cutaways that I had from the pinwheels. And I want to use them in the border. And I had set up to use either 2 or 3 on each side like this. If I use 2, I have enough of them all that's all I could do. That's all I would do. But then there's a space between those, and what do I do with that? So let's see what is actually left over. I brought the bin over. What do I have left from this project to work with? Because I don't think adding in a new fabric will be a good option because it's not anywhere else. So let's see, I've got the stripe that I did for the inner border there, and I have the rest of that stripe for the binding. So that's going to stay in here. I actually have 2 other jelly rolls that I got because I think I'm going to do another one of these, a bigger size. And there you go, I'm all ready. I think I'll do it for a charity quilt. These are the gray fabrics. So there was a couple of non-gray. There was a pure white, basically, and then a little dot, but everything else was gray. And there's no gray. Take a look again. See, I didn't use any of the gray fabrics. So I think adding in gray is really not a good option. I think I would just put all of these into my strips, although one of the options would be that I might need these light ones. Okay, so we're gonna put those to the side. What else do I have? Of course, got the pattern. I have these sections here. These were what was left from making the strip sets used in the body of the quilt. So I have 4 of these, and they're not super big, so they're not big enough to go between what I'll be doing. So let me just show you that. Let's go over here to the wall. So if I were to decide to put this between, which would be super cute, you would have those, sort of flying geese units, and then this strip set in between, which would be darling, but there's not enough of them, and I don't have any more of that fabric. This is all that's left. And I can't make them too short because those pinwheels are, these units here are 3.5. So I can't, cut these in half and use them. So another option I could do would be to take all 4 of these that are left over and make more of these half square triangles. I don't think it would fill the whole way down though. I have to do a little math and see if that would work, because I bought a whole bunch of the teal. So I have plenty of the teal, but I just don't think there's enough of this to work. So that means adding instead between these units would be a teal section. That would be one option. So I could go with the teal like this, or I could go with the yellow again, because I have a big piece of the yellow like here. So that would be another thing, would be to, between the half square triangles, put the yellow. Now, one thing I could do to sort of minimize the amount of that is figure out how many more half square triangles can I get out of all of this and make those. So that maybe there would be 4 geese, flying geese on each side, and then the distance between them would be a small piece. And if that were the case, I might just go with this, go with a small piece. So I'm going to do the math. That's why it's sort of not done, because, well, that and a lot of other things. But I thought I might as well figure it out and sort of and see where I am and maybe come up with that option. So I'm kind of liking the option of doing more of these, and then that shortens the distance, and maybe it's just a small piece of yellow that has to go in there. So I'm going to test that out. So that'll be what I do in the next few days. Okay. The other thing, one of the other things, is that the Benartex new fabric videos, there were 3 of them. Now, they ran it live and they gave prizes away if you came to the lives, but now they're all up on YouTube. And so today, down below in the description box and at my website, if you're signed up, you'll get an email for the article today. There's a link to the videos. Mine is on the 3rd video. I'm with Eleanor Burns and Nancy Halverson and Weeks and Bill and who else? There was somebody else on mine. Now I can't think of who it was, but we had to combine. My one that I was originally on, they had too many technical difficulties on both. The other designers couldn't get on and whatever. So I got combined up into another one. So you want to be sure and go watch that. And while you're over at my website getting the link for that, you can download the calendar. Yes, I've got the May calendar done before May 1st. Yeah, my goal is always to have this done before May 1st. You know, I always think that that's a good idea to have your calendar before May. It's 2 pages. So if you're not familiar with my calendar and you've never downloaded it, the first page is the calendar itself with all kinds of little fun days that I highlight through the month. And then below are things that go on for each day, like one of the different, where are the different sew-alongs, maybe some of the challenges that I put out, they're all listed on there. Now the second page is a list of the projects, the current projects and possible upcoming projects. I don't want to say they're true, but we do most of them, but occasionally I have to drop one because just too many other things are going on. Now the 2 free mysteries, the Halloween and the Christmas, they're kind of a floating date right now. Christmas will probably be Christmas in July if the fabric comes into the Fat Quarter Shop, because that's really what we want to do is a Christmas in July. The Halloween should be in May, but if the fabric doesn't come in, it'll roll into June. But in May, there's 2 fun things. May 6th is the tour for Wendy Shepard's thread kit, which, here is her box. So I am on her thread tour that day. And then later in the month is my book tour. So very towards the end of the month, like the last week of the month, it starts the 23rd, is the tour for my book. And I'll be talking about my book all in May, and we will be doing a sew-along for my book, and I'll be talking about that, but I have to have a little time to get that organized. It's not quite organized, ready for you yet. It will be, it will be. So download this today over at my website. So what do you think that I did with the crumb block quilt? What were your preferences? Now if you probably guess, maybe you couldn't, but I thought when I was showing the fabrics, you might have guessed which one I liked. But and I'll show you what I did. But I think it's fun if you also liked something that, I wonder what it was. It was different than mine. Okay, the crumb blocks, drum roll. Get it so it's going the right way. It's that heart in the middle, so it's not, there we go. And it is the chickens for the win, the black and white chickens. I love it. I love it so much. What I think the reason is that this looks so great to me is that the black and white chickens really are an element. You know, they catch your eye. The blocks themselves are I'll hold it up while I talk. The blocks themselves are pretty busy. All those crumbs in there have a lot of different colors, even though there's a lot of black. So I just think giving it a border that has a lot of personality, the border really speaks to the whole thing. That's what I wanted. I wanted something where the border was like, oh, that's darn cute, because it's really the border that's cute. Now I solved the problem of the upside and downways chickens, and I did a little clip, so take a look. So when looking at the chicken fabric, there's actually, it's directional, but it's also tossed a bit. It's a technical term. It's how, you know, it's like how the repeat is. So I'm going to hang this one up here because I want you to see, okay, it's crooked, but you know, I think this is its main direction because more of the chickens seem to be going this way. But occasionally there's a chicken going a different direction. So like on this piece up here, I don't really have any that are showing that. They're on the next slice here. So what I did is I was sure, like I wanted to see, well, how many of the chickens, like here's one, here's one, here's one. So I got a lot of them. But if I flipped it and put it this way, hold on, then there were less of them. They were all sort of upside down. There were none sort of right side up. So I just made sure that I checked it and put it the direction that at least I got some of them visually going right side up for both of these side pieces. The same over here. See, there's the chickens. I know, crazy, right? Crazy, but it makes me happy to have more chickens going right side up. So that did solve things. I'll show you again so you can see. So I really don't think that, I don't mind it. I would prefer they were all more primarily, you know, vertical, but this works. Now, this is the binding I was thinking of when I was the green. Whoops, let me just put it horizontal. There we go. Put it back here. So you see, and I think that that looks pretty nice. And from a distance, you know, it's there, but I thought I can do better. So it really needs that peachy pink that pops, those peachy pink pops that are in there, sort of peachy red. So this is what I found. I have plenty of it. I think I've got a yard. It's just plenty for binding. So that's what I'm going to use. So this group is now here ready. I'll put that guy back there. So I am thrilled. That was just like a fun little thing. When I was going through the bin, I'm like, okay, I just need to sew this up and be ready and be done. Now the two, I have three more things. Three. There we go. One is I have not done a binding yet in April. And April's not done, so tonight I plan to bind the Woodland Wonderland with the mushrooms and the gnome and the darling owl. See this guy? This is the one. So I have to trim it and I have the hanging sleeve cut. So this, I'm pretty far along. So I mean, I don't have a label, but I've got the hanging sleeve. I don't know if it's trimmed. And I've got the binding made. So as long as the binding's made, the rest of it's pretty good. So generally I've been liking. Generally I've liked to do these like over 2 nights. Sort of get it trimmed, get the label, the sleeve, and the binding all ready one night, and then the second night do the sewing on it. But I think I'm going to do it all tonight because April's almost done. And I have like 4 newish ones that I haven't even showed you a couple of them yet. They're just sitting on the shelf because I need to do the binding. So that's what I will accomplish that today. Okay, we have, you know, all the quilts that I've been doing for the charity stuff, I've been giving to my friend Susan, and I told you that she works with a lot of different organizations. Susan's superpower is connecting people, connecting groups to people and groups to groups and organizations, and etc. That's what she does well. And so she is working with an organization called The Journey Home, and that's where my quilts, a group of my quilts have gone, including which will eventually be the banners will be there too that I showed you the other day. Susan sent me some pictures when she went to deliver things, and I've got to show you. It's amazing. This is Debbie in front of the Journey Home. She and her husband and a group of business people in Mineral, Virginia created the Journey Home for transitional housing. They give a lot of educational support, spiritual support, and help the families get back together. So you can see my quilts have been hung all through the facility. I don't know, I personally like the one above the foosball table. I think that's so sweet. And she's got one in her office. So thank you so much, Susan, for making this happen. Just wow. When she sent me the pictures, I got teary. It's like, ah, those are my quilts, and they're there to help people. I just, you know, it's just so lovely. I'm so thankful for having Susan in my life who can do these things and make these connections happen. It is now the end of the video, and I have a surprise. So I have a goal, and I've talked about this goal before, is I would love to get my channel here at YouTube up to 100,000 quilters. I know there's 100,000 quilters out there. They're just not, you're just not subscribed to my channel. When you subscribe, which is totally free, you're just putting the subscription, puts it on your list so that you can find me easily. You can also click the bell, which will then send you a notice when new videos are published. But it's free. But what it does is it helps my business. It helps my small family business if you subscribe, because YouTube sees these subscribers and says, oh, well, people like this channel, it has value. They also then will recommend my channel to other people who are looking for quilt things, because a lot of you are subscribers. It's just how it works. So I would love to have you subscribe. But wait, there's more. In order to make this fun, kind of like a pledge drive, but not, because there's no money. Not at all. It's really not like that at all. Okay, but anyways, what I'm going to do is when we hit, what I put, 85,000, 95,000, and 102,000. You know, we got to get just over 100,000. So 85,000, 95,000, 102,000, I will give away not only a quilt, and this is the first one. Ta-da! I will give away this to one person. Let me put it there. It has to go this way. It has to go the proper way. Here it is, this guy. But I also, this will go to somebody who is in the United States for shipping in the United States. And then for a friend who is a subscriber outside the United States, you will get one of my new thread kits from Aurifil. Look at that. Darling, darling thread kit box with the pretty beautiful, gorgeous fabrics, gorgeous threads in it. All their 100% cotton threads. So what do you have to do to be in on this? You have to subscribe. And then when we get close to the number, I will tell you how it works when we get there. So I hope you're up for the challenge. I hope you want to join in on the fun and be a subscriber, a free subscriber here at YouTube. Then remember to download your calendar today over at my website. And if your jelly sizzle is not done yet, work on it, because we're going to roll this into May, and I'll get my border ready, and then we will quilt it up. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.